Welcome back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. This is Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. Today, well, before I tell you what we're going to talk about, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about money? How do you feel about your progress? How do you feel about your future? Like, how do you feel about accomplishing, more in your life? Like, how do you feel about that? The government and many of the entities around that type of system is lying to you, lied to me. And today I just want to have a brief conversation, maybe not even as long as we normally talk, but a brief conversation about this lie, about the lies. And I can start directly in the area of my expertise, which is taxes. Taxes. You hear things like, man, if this person goes into if this person's the president, my life will be better. If that person's the president, my life won't be, as good. And there's so much back and forth on who should be the president, who should run the country. When if you just pay attention right now, when I look at those types of things, and I say to myself, I says, wow, look at this, as an African-American person living in this country. I remember when Barack Obama, was elected president. I was like, man, we made it. Now, after watching what kind of like how that presidency kind of, went through, I realized that, I don't think African-Americans advanced while Barack Obama was the president. So he's just like all the other presidents, correct? So it wasn't that, we got something better because he was black, I look at, all the presidencies. How did our race, how did I'm African-American, so I can only think about minorities. So how did the minorities, how did their lives change? Did our lives get better? And I would tell you that if I was looking to the government, no, our lives didn't get better. I look at the government today and I say, wow, why are we sending so much money away from our country when we should be using this said money to invest in the people right here? Like if they want to send $50 billion to Ukraine, why don't they go into Washington, D.C., New York City, Newark, New Jersey, where I'm from, Atlanta, Georgia, all the Los Angeles, if they go and invest these monies into their citizens, how can we make our lives better? And I said, well, the government is not going to do that. So in essence, when we go back and forth on who's going to be the president and we get upset at each other because, oh, you're for Trump, oh, you're for Biden, oh, I can't believe, they're not going to help us. They're not going to save us. So one of the things that I'll just kind of give you some game on when it comes to just the area that I'm in, taxes. Taxes, the tax code. The benefits of the tax code are written for people, one, who have financial education. Financial education, what is that? Financial education is how you understand money, the flow of money, right? Credit, all these stuff, real estate. So financial education, people that are already rich, it's benefited for them. It's benefit for those who have made a decision. I'm going to invest into companies. I'm going to make investments into different things. It's written for them. It's written for business owners, people who have businesses, but it's not written for everybody. It's not written to benefit the employee, where most people in this country are employees. I don't know the number, so I can't quote them, but most people are employees in this country. So if most people in this country are employees, and we just look at the tax code, what do we see? What do we have? Wow, we can take advantage of most people. I'll give you one scenario that should really bring to light. the difference between an investor and an employee. Ready? An employee is going to probably pay about 50% of their money in taxes, potentially. An investor only pays about 20%. So when you think about it, one person earns $1 million, both persons earn $1 million. We're talking about people who are making money, right? So someone making $1 million as an employee, half of that's gone. Someone making $1 million as an investor, only 20%. So you got a $500,000 tax bill versus a $200,000 tax bill. Let's ask a question. Does the media report on that difference? Does the media say, let's educate the people on what they should do? Hey guys, everybody should focus on trying to become an investor. Everybody should focus on at least having a business. Everybody should focus on getting more financial education and deciding to become rich. That's what you should do. That would be moral. Now, here's the thing. Everybody can't do that because if everybody does it, then I mean, you won't have any employees, right? So in essence, it has to be a choice. There's no way. So the government cannot promote investing. They can't promote business. They can't promote being rich because if they did that, things will collapse. You won't have any employees. Or we would go back. You wouldn't need the government because the government wouldn't have all this money to give away because they wouldn't have as much. It's interesting because I'm in reflection right now. I'm in reflection about direction. Not necessarily, I'm not confused on my direction. What I'm in reflection about is specificity, meaning, okay, it was crazy. Just yesterday, I was on a call with one of my clients. And we were, talking the whole conversation. We was on a call, typically run about an hour. We wound up being on about an hour and a half. And the first hour and 15 minutes, all we talked about was money. That's it. Money decisions. And as we talked about these money decisions, I was just like, yo, this is wild. The level of understanding that is needed for people as they are transitioning. When you are transitioning from the employee mindset into the business owner mindset, there's a transition. There's an understanding that you must immediately take. And here's what we had a long conversation about: getting paid hourly versus getting paid contractually. In essence, that's how I would say contractually, or getting paid with an offer. No, let's use an offer. Having an offer versus getting paid hourly. And that was a hang up because coming out of the employee mindset, you got paid hourly. Going into business, you get paid for a result. So an offer is the result that we want to offer to someone, business person, and say, hey, this is what we have to help you, and this is how much it costs. It's not hourly. This is how long it takes in order for this to get done. And you pay me for that. And usually that's going to be a premium over the amount that you would be charging hourly, because typically when someone does something for an hour, like if you have a job, there's no end. You just show up, you work for a certain amount of hours, you go home and you get paid. Wherein as a business owner, no, that's not how it works in a lot of cases. There's maybe a specific amount of time that you're going to do something. So if I'm going to get them the result, the same result, I'm going to get you the result in 8 weeks. I'm going to get you the result in 12 weeks or 16 weeks or 6 months, a year, whatever. I'm going to get you the result. Then there should be a premium on that. And when we ran the numbers, I was like, okay, we ran the numbers on an offer that the client had made. And the offer, in essence, paid them about $200 an hour. They got paid. They didn't charge hourly. They got something for they charged like $3,000 for something. And when we ran the amount of time that was spent on it, it was about $200 an hour versus this $25 to $30 an hour that they were used to charging for working with people. And I says, wow, this is interesting. Because To move into the mindset of, or to move into the money mindset, it's understanding how your money is going to grow and how it's going to grow fast, especially when you're in business. You want to have a way to see if my first goal, like most people make 10,000 a month, their first goal, which I would say make 20,000, 25,000, your first one. Because 25,000 is the essence of what 10,000 was when I first started. So you should make it 25. It'll feel the same way. So 20, so say, but your first goal was 10. How are you going to make the 10? If I got 2 clients at 5,000, get 2 clients at $5,000. Now I got $10,000. Do that every month. 1 client at 10,000. Well, that's a lot. Well, that's why you got to create an offer. So that's one side of it. Let's get back to the government. I think this is important. The government is, as much as they tout that they want to help the American people, their job is to make it confusing for the American people. Because like I said, guys, if it wasn't confusing, then, if it wasn't confusing, then it's like you wouldn't have any challenges. So the challenge today is to sift through all of the minutia. Now, here's what's interesting. When I wrote this book, right here, when I wrote this Beyond Tax Strategy book, which you can get on Amazon right now, right? I wrote this book, and it was interesting when I wrote this book because I never wanted to write a book on taxes. The introduction of the book says, what you don't know can hurt you. What you don't know can hurt. Most entrepreneurs are not aware of how to produce wealth through tax strategies. You need to become aware of what you do not know and stop doing the things that are hurting you. It is important to think about tax education you do have. The way you look at taxes is a key piece to transforming your life and business. Most people look at taxes and don't want to file a return because it feels like something they just have to do every year. The truth is that rich people don't mind filing taxes because they look at it as an incentive plan. Are you ready to look at taxes that way? With the right education, you will understand all the details of how taxes work. It's not that you are responsible for all the details. That's your CPA's job or your tax professional, but you are responsible for learning context. What you don't know is hurting you. Even though the government wrote the tax code, and about 90% of the tax code is written to reduce taxes for people that are rich, investors, business owners, and people who are financially educated. And if you are going to start moving away from the mindset of the government's going to save me, the government is going to, give me a stimulus. The government is going to send me money. The government is going to protect me. If we're going to get away from that, and I know many of you may not necessarily be there, it's just that many of us get caught up in the minutia. The minutia. I go on social media and it's minutia, just so much minutia. And it's kind of like, I'm like, man, I don't know about you. I've wasted too much time. Even though I spend time doing things that will benefit me, I still waste too much time. And it's challenging. Like I realize that it's really challenging to not waste time. This thing right here, you might be using it right now. But this thing right here, this phone thing, oh my goodness, it's a time sucker. So how do we get past this thing where the government's lying to us? Say another one. Religion is lying to you. All the places that we're hoping to, to gain the most advantages. Well, we hope the government gives an advantage. We hope being religious will gives an advantage. Doesn't give me an advantage. We hope that the fact that I'm vegan gives me an advantage. No, because there's lies in the whole movement of veganism. What? Yeah, there's lies everywhere. Because when the term vegan, and I don't know this to be 100% true, so I'm just going to say it anyway. The term vegan, think about this, the term vegan is almost like confusing. What happened to vegetarian? Well, vegetarians was eating dairy and cheese and stuff like that, so that's not vegan. But then if we make this new term vegan and then we create a new type of food, get people to be vegan, eating our foods, eating our processed foods. Oh, that's what vegan is. So when you think about a lot of people, I've seen people vegan and they're fat. I'm just like, how are you fat and you're vegan? It does not comprehend that a person can be vegan and fat. Does it? I'm sorry. Doesn't comprehend. Because that lets me know the education was not given. I'm just saying, like, every area is education. You go to church, you join a religion, you get baptized, and there are lies. I'm not telling you that people are trying to lie to you. It's just that the system is a lie. This is how you get to heaven, by going to religion. That's a lie. Totally false. This is how you get to heaven, by being a part of a religion. That is false. That's a whole conversation. This is how you get to heaven. Give me a break. I'm already in heaven. I'm in the heaven God put me in. There's no living in heaven. I ain't waiting for nobody to come back to save me. I ain't waiting for Jesus to come back to save me. Jesus already came back. He left his consciousness here. He gave me the mind to think exactly like him. Take on his mind, the mindset of Christ. Well, it says in the Bible that most people don't read, most people don't understand. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Let this mind be in you. So, I know. I'm supposed to do that. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I got that on my wall in the kitchen. And here's the thing. It's crazy. I asked someone a question yesterday. I'm just like, if you knew, you believe. Like, if you knew, you literally are a manifestation of God. It messed with the person's head when I asked this question. If you knew you were a manifestation of God, what would you do and how would you feel? It was a confusing question at the time. I says, yeah, religion has totally twisted this thing up, because I'm not God. I am not the creator of the universe. I am a manifestation of the creator of the universe. I'm an individual manifestation of the creator of this universe. That's what I personally know. I don't even believe that. I just know it. Because I know it. I can see. Now I see. I'm saying, I can see the government lies. Because I know what real government looks like. And that government, it's just stupid. No, that's not real government. That is bondagement. Keep you in bondage. Keep you held back. All right. If a person was going to take what I'm saying today and just like toss it to the side, where would you start? First place to start is education, financial education. what is that? What is financial education? Well, typically for most people, they may not have a whole lot of money to invest a lot of money into literally working with someone who can teach them the right stuff, and maybe in a sequence. That's why I bought that's why I buy so many books, because I could not get the people to teach me one-on-one unless I paid an absorbent amount of money. Like these books here, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets, .com Secrets, written by Russell Brunson. His small program is like $30,000 a year. And then the other program that he's got, I think he has a $100,000 and a $250,000 program. So when you think about that, but I can go get his book for $20. I can get all his books, his whole mind. I can go to his YouTube channel. So in essence, a person has there's no excuse, because you got $20. And if you don't have $20, then that means you probably just need to not spend $20 on something. So you're going to buy the book and read the book and then work with the book. So that's where you would start. You would find a way to get yourself educated on the information that you would like to know more about. Me, it was money and business. Money and business. Money and business. I need more money books. Okay, there's a really good book I got behind me. Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. Money Master the Game. It's a big book. It's a thick book. I personally listened to it on Audible because I just was like, I got to listen to it. So this book is 600 pages. 660. So let's go to the final page. Yeah, 600. Yeah, 630 something pages of reading material. He's got another book over here. I got Unshakable, written by Tony Robbins. But that book may be $30. So if we're going to get past the lies, guys, you go into education. You got to get financially educated. That's where you start. Start with reading books. Start with a YouTube channel. Start with getting on someone's email list or newsletter. Just start there. Don't worry about what you haven't done. Don't worry about how much time it's been. Look, I didn't get started in personal development until I was over 40. And think about that, over 40. I'm 52 today, so I'm 12 years in personal development. And I'll never stop as long as I'm living. Got another book being delivered today. Friend of mine who just wrote a book. I bought a book so I could read it and interview her on a new show that I'm doing. It's called Conversations with Authors. I figured have a lot in common with authors. Let me talk to them. Let them find their minds. We got a few of the authors that I'll be talking to in July. So you'll hear more about that. I think that's going to start July the 2nd. July the 2nd, right now, it may be every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. between 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. on Wednesdays, where I have conversations with authors. That'll be another way to get educated on information about business, about life, about spirituality that potentially can help a person get educated in the areas that they would like to get educated in. Because look, at the end of the day, if someone's lying to you, I'm not going to focus on the fact that they're lying at that point. I'm going to just focus on, okay, how can I get around it? And how can I now make my life better as a result of me knowing it? So I just share with you, the government's lying to you, right? And they're not going to stop lying. They're just going to continue to kind of like mask over what you should know. But if you needed to know anything, here's what you should know about the government incentive program, which is called the tax code. It's only written for people who have financial education, people who are rich and have the money to pay for certain types of services. And it's written for people who are investors and business owners. And if you're not either one of those, you're going to have to get educated to understand exactly what you need to know so that you can win in your money. Hopefully today you got some enlightenment, and then you can say to yourself, I'm going to account for my life and my money in a better way. So that's it today, guys. Don't forget, this book is available on Amazon, Beyond Freedom Tax Strategy. Go check it out. Go read it. and allow yourself to be transformed. I did have someone read it and tell me that, man, it was inspirational. And it was written in a way that it's that like you can digest it. So it's not like so high up and so technical that you get to, and you're like, but it's written at the level where only I can write it. And so it's definitely something that if you're thinking about your money, if you're thinking about business, go read this book and then let me know what you got out of it. So guys, I thank you for joining me for another episode of the I AFYL Podcast. I'm Jay Wood, a healthy accountant. My job is to help you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.